Hey guys, Tony here. Today we're going to review Eternal Champions on the Sega Genesis. I absolutely love this game when I was a kid, and we're going to see if it belongs on the Sega Genesis Mini. Guys, do not forget to subscribe to me. That's going to put you in the running for a Sega Genesis Mini that I'm giving away at the end of the month of September. Alright guys, let's get right into it, and let's see if it still holds up. Thanks for watching. Our first fighting game, one of my personal favorites, Eternal Champions. This was released by Sega in 1993 around the Mortal Kombat boom era. There were a lot of fighting games in the 90s that were trying to duplicate the success of the MK series. This is considered to be one of those clones, but it's more than that. Yes, it is a fighting game with special moves and fatalities, aka overkills, but there's more than meets the eye here. This fighting game tried to stand out from the crowd with an emphasis on story and also using the stage to defeat your opponent. The plot of the game is actually pretty cool. A godlike creature called the Eternal Champion has pulled together warriors from different time periods. Supposedly they are all pulled from their era moments before their death. If they survive, they can live their lives out a different way. And supposedly this is supposed to bring balance to the universe or something. This fighting game has a unique cast of characters. There are a total of 9 characters to choose from, and each has their own skill set and special moves. I like to choose from Midnight because he's a cool vampire dude, and I like his moveset. Who is your favorite character in Eternal Champions? Let's give this game a closer look to see if it was a good choice on the Sega Genesis Mini. Does this game belong on the Sega Genesis Mini? There are only a few fighting games on the Sega Genesis Mini, and this was a great choice. A lot of fans have requested this game to be on the console. I'm very excited to see Sega decided to listen to their fans and put games that they wanted on the Mini system. Although this is a clone fighting game of Mortal Kombat, it has more than that to offer. I think you'll get your money's worth with the extra modes, but we'll get into that later into the review. I think this is an awesome inclusion on the Mini system, and any fan of Street Fighter 2 or Mortal Kombat 3 will enjoy playing this game if they did not play it in the 90s. Lastly, this is another great game by Sega, an IP. It makes sense to put it on the Mini. And also, when I think of great fighting games from this era, this is near the top of the list for me, so you have to play it, and it was a good inclusion. What makes Eternal Champions a good game? I love the characters, the different stages you fight on, and the special moves. I also get a kick out of the quote-unquote overkills when you finish your opponent if you're on the correct part of the stage. I really like the different modes that are available here too. There's your traditional tournament mode, which is basically the arcade mode, a versus mode, and a practice mode. The practice mode is excellent. This is kind of like a challenge mode, and you could practice getting better with your characters. In the video, you see me trying to complete a dexterity challenge. Modes like this make the game stand out a little bit more than the other fighters like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter from the era. I think you'll enjoy the cast of characters. You have a vampire dude, a caveman, a bounty hunter from the future, a cyborg cage fighter, a circus performer chick, a ninja assassin, a gangster dude with a Tommy gun, a fish man from Atlantis, and a mage from Salem. You must play this game if you are a fan of 90s fighting games. What are some of the bad qualities of this game? Well, if you're using a 3-button controller, this is going to be a hard one to master. The Sega Mini comes with 3-button controllers, but you can buy 6-button controllers to use. Using a 3-button controller will be difficult to try and perform the special moves of each character. Speaking of which, the special moves. They are so frustrating to try and pull off. Maybe it's just me, and maybe I'm just not good at pulling off these moves from these fighting games from the 90s, but man, it is so frustrating to try to execute them and then just get beat up by your opponent. There is a practice mode, so if you want to go in and practice and try to master the moves, go for it. I also think that the tournament mode can be a little bit on the difficult side, but other than some of these minor issues with the special moves and the difficulty, this is a solid 90s fighting game. Some of my favorite childhood memories with Eternal Champions is renting this game at Cinema Plus. I know, again, Cinema Plus. My parents loved taking us to rent games every single weekend. We also would love renting VHS tapes, and I can remember renting classics like Star Wars for the first time and Enter the Dragon. When I was a kid, I loved the practice mode in Eternal Champions and trying to get better and better. I loved challenging myself, and it was just so much fun. I really enjoyed the caveman for some reason too as a character, and I think it was because of his giant club. My brother, he was a giant fighting game fan. He could not get enough of the fighting game genre, and he would actually play me in it, and he didn't play it a whole lot on his own, and he would love whipping my butt. And I couldn't get enough. I didn't care. This game was that much fun. I actually have more memories as a kid playing the Sega CD version released in 1995. And we played the living crap out of that game. I still own it. It's in my collection. And it's considered to be a sequel, but it is a great upgrade from the Sega Genesis game. The animation, the music, it's a lot better. Oh, and there's blood. We love trying to find out how to do the overkills, and I still love that aspect of the game. In conclusion, Eternal Champions is an excellent example of what a good Mortal Kombat clone was like. Fighting game fans must play this game. Do you think this game belongs on the Sega Genesis Mini? What is your favorite fighting game from the 90s? Don't forget to subscribe to be entered into my contest for the Sega Genesis Mini. I'm giving one away at the end of the month of September. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.